Hi everybody, this is Sue Hall, certified keto coach and founder of SlenderSusie.com, and I am super excited because today I get to interview Andress Blackwell, who is the president and CEO of, all you know, my favorite sweetener and the only one I use in the Hall House, Swerve. So we are here in New Orleans today after a book signing event, and she has offered to answer a few questions for y'all. So I've been stalking you a little bit to see your background. I have.
So stalking
A
Slender
little
Susie.
bit, yes.
I know the real name now.
So I know kind of the story, but can you tell everybody how Swerve came about and what brought you to come up with products like this?
You know, it's such a fun story because this product wasn't just developed as, hey, let's put a sweetener out there. We created a protein shake that we really thought that women would love to balance blood sugar. Because really Swerve is about balancing blood sugar. That's what it's turned out to be. So the protein shake included the mixture of sweeteners in there that became Swerve. And it tasted so good, we ended up putting it in a package by itself to sell it just as a sweetener.
That's awesome. When we first bought it, my son and I stuck our fingers in it, just ate it, and he was like, "This isn't sugar?" I'm like, "Nope."
Well, I always tell people we're the only one that you can open up the packet and throw it back like you did
really
when you were a
can.
kid and eat it like that. So it really came out of being a protein shake sweetener to begin with.
So how much research went into Swerve then?
You know, a lot of research initially in the raw materials. And as far as like erythritol, people think that that's a new item, but it's not. It's been around for centuries. It was discovered a long, long time ago, naturally occurring in a lot of foods that you're eating every single day. But it also is made by a very natural process. We're in a kombucha manufacturing facility right behind here. There are these big fermenting tanks. And so erythritol is made by that fermentation process, the same way you would make kombucha. In the recent years, we did some research on glycemic index as well as insulin effects. And so we sent it to the preeminent laboratories in Toronto, the glycemic index laboratories, and had it tested for its response. That's how we can say that it does not impact blood sugar. It's also how we can say that it's non-insulinic.
So speaking of that, then what makes Swerve different than the other sugar alcohols, sugar substitutes that are out there right now?
It's such a great question. We tend to lump all of those polyols, those sugar alcohols, into one family. And even like Dr. Oz says, if it ends in TOL, you shouldn't have it. But not all of those sugar alcohols are created equally. Xylitol, maltitol, sorbitol, those particular ingredients make their way to your colon, and that's where they can cause a lot of that digestive disruption. As well, they're not 0 calorie. They're just a slight reduction in calories versus, say, sugar. So with erythritol, it actually is absorbed in the small intestines right when it comes out of your stomach, which is not giving it the ability to cause that digestive discomfort that we know happens with a lot of the other ones. So it makes it truly different. It is 0 calorie as well. And then I think the other thing is, like we talked about, made via fermentation, which is a natural process that doesn't require any heavy solvents or chemicals.
Right. So you were just saying Swerve is 0 on the glycemic index. So can you explain just a little bit about how it affects insulin response?
Yeah, it's a great question. So people think that a lot of times just because something's sweet, the fact that it might not have calories and it might not impact your blood sugar, could it actually make you secrete insulin? And does that sweet flavor trigger something in the brain? Part of that is research recently has shown that in the microbiome, as we look at our gut, that there are taste receptors that are in our gut. So if they sense something sweet, they're sending signals to the brain, we probably should secrete insulin, right?
Right.
But we just talked about the fact that Swerve is really ingested or absorbed in that early process. Those taste receptors have not been discovered in that early part of the small intestines. So Swerve's being absorbed before it can actually impact those taste receptors in the gut.
And this is all why when I tell you guys you can deduct this and it's 0 net carbs, it really truly is a 0. I know there's other coaches out there that are saying, oh, you can only deduct 5. Nope, this is a 0 carb product. This is why I tell people to use this.
It's true, Sue, because if you look at the other sugar alcohols, you should deduct only 50%. So if there's 10 grams of xylitol in your product, you really should only deduct 5, because again, there are calories associated with it. It does have some glycemic response. But with Swerve, because it's metabolized so differently, you can reduce it by 100%.
So there you go, 100% 0 carb, 0 calorie awesomeness. and it bakes just like sugar. It's a 1-for-1 ratio, so you don't have to worry about converting and how much do I use. It's awesome.
You know why that's the case. I'm not really that great at math. So we had to make it really simple for somebody like me. So 1-for-1, boom, I can do that.
So it works great. So you yourself, you're obviously very well versed in nutrition and the effects on sugars of our body. What does your daily diet look like? Are you keto, or what kind of diet do you follow?
You know, I would tell you for a number of years, I would say almost, more than 15 years now, I consider myself carb conscious. And so I'm very aware of the carbohydrates and the source of those carbohydrates that I consume. So I'm a low carber. That would definitely, I would be put in that low carb category. I don't really, the only nutrient that I'm very particular about ensuring that I get a certain amount of is protein. So from that standpoint, I really want to make sure that I'm maintaining my lean muscle tissue, especially us as women. And Maria talked about it earlier, and we talked with Maria, we tend not to get enough protein in our diet. So I make sure that I get enough protein to maintain that lean muscle tissue. I really don't count fat. I'm not scared of fat, so I consume probably more fat than a normal person, but not necessarily I'm trying to hit a certain fat goal. It's really about high protein and carb consciousness for me.
Yeah. And we did find out earlier she keeps fat bombs in her freezer, so.
Well, that's true.
The Reese's peanut butter cup ones.
That's right. I might have a little sweet tooth, so I have to make sure to take care of that without sugar.
So last question, and I know that she announced earlier, and you'll have to stop my page to see what's going on. There's 5 new products coming out July 1st. Yay!
It's really
You're gonna
exciting.
love these. Check my page, you'll find out what they are. But what would you say to someone who's never tried Swerve before?
You know, I think that every taste is key. And so with Swerve, it's really about the taste profile. You would not know that you weren't eating sugar. You said it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Mikey likes it, right? I mean,
yeah.
Do you know that commercial?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I am that
I'm
old.
dating myself.
I'm that old, yes.
I'm saying that. So the fact that you can eat Swerve and not know it's sugar, the taste profile is amazing. There are a lot of other great sweeteners out there, but a lot of times they don't taste like sugar. You know, it's just the truth.
Yeah.
And then with the new products, honestly, so we're launching some new bake mixes. They're going to stalk
yes.
They're gonna
you don't have to stalk my page.
You can
She's
stalk the
4
page.
bake mixes
I won't give any more details.
and brown sugar.
Brown
substitute.
Not sugar.
Well, not sugar,
Swerve.
brown sugar.
Brown Swerve, right.
Yes, but it's awesome. Now we can go back to making all of those recipes that we had regular brown sugar in with the new Swerve
Or even
brown
if it's
sugar
just putting
replacement.
it on your oatmeal and things like
Yes,
that, where you would
awesome.
use brown sugar.
Oatmeal
Now,
if you're not keto.
Oatmeal, no oatmeal if you're not keto, right?
Yeah, the no
exactly, exactly. So yeah, that really is the big thing. And with the new products, and I won't tell all the details about what they are, but with those, you would never know that they were grain-free, gluten-free, and no sugar added. So that's really exciting.
So we've had some exciting news today, and we got to chat one-on-one a little bit with Andress, and I hope to come down and visit the Swerve offices in a couple weeks.
Yes, for sure.
She said we could, so I'm just going to stop by. There's food tasting on Fridays. So thank you very much for your input on Swerve.
Awesome.
And you are definitely the go-to in the Howell household, and everybody out there I'm sure will know that it's the only sweetener that I recommend everybody be using.
Well, we appreciate the support. Thanks.
Thank you.